Zips Football Weekly with Tom Arth. Presented by Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime. Hosted by Joe Dunn. Contributing partners include Summa Health. It's your health. Let's own it together. Miller Lite. It's Miller time. Hilton Akron Fairlawn. Proud to be the host hotel of Zips Football. And the Spaghetti Warehouse. Famous for its 15-layer lasagna.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the final edition of Zips Football Weekly with head coach Tom Arth, brought to you all season long by the Wentz Financial Group. Well, Coach, we're going to take a look back at the game against Ohio University. We're going to have our Players of the Week, our Play of the Week. Then we're going to take a long look at maybe next season, talk a little bit about recruiting, and get everybody ready for 2020. How's that sound?
That sounds good. Look forward to talking about 2020.
There you go. Right now, let's go back to InfoCision Stadium this past week. Take a look at first half highlights of the game against the Bobcats of Ohio University. Highlights brought to you by ESPN+. Well, Coach, you win the opening toss, you get the football and head downfield, but boy, the Bobcats were ready on the other night. But you got down there, you had 2 turnovers in the first half that gave you some great opportunities.
Yeah, we did. Unfortunately, settled for a field goal on one, and then weren't able to move the ball on the second turnover, which is important. It was great early in the game to create those 2 takeaways, and that's a great opportunity for our team to really, put ourselves in great position, for that game. And unfortunately, we just had a hard time, struggled to really get anything going offensively all night long.
We saw Peter Hayes-Patrick, a pretty good carry right there. Now we're going to see Boogie Knight, who continues to give you good field position on these kickoffs, makes a great move right there, heads toward the sidelines, and he's going to be a weapon for you next year.
Yeah, Boogie had a really good game again for us in the return aspect. I thought he made some great decisions for us in punt return, and then certainly made some big plays for us on kickoff return. He
has the ability to make that cut to take to the outside and then uses his speed to get upfield.
Yeah, he definitely does, and it's been great for us. Our kickoff return team has been really good throughout the course of the year, and it's been exciting to watch.
There's the big guy, Devontae Jest, who causes the fumble, then recovers the football, and that sets up the field goal. And nice pass out here to Boogie Knight, who takes it down to about the 7 or 8 yard line.
Yeah, it was a big play. That was first play right after the turnover. Had an opportunity. Trying to get a post in behind. It was a RPO, and Cato did a good job checking it down to the bubble route, and Boogie, was able to take it down on the 6 yard line, and unfortunately, weren't able to move it much further than that.
We saw the field goal by Cory Smeagol, 25-yarders, and he kind of solidified that kicking game for you a little bit as the season wore on.
Yeah, Cory, I was really proud of Cory. He's a guy that's, really battled hard through camp, through spring practice, through camp, and was not the starter to begin the year, and just kept working and kept improving, as the year went on, and really earned his way into the lineup.
Saw Dylan Meeks with a nice hit right there, and the recovery by the Zips. The second time your defense caused a turnover for the Bobcats. Talking about Cory Smeagol, the first time I saw him, Coach, I thought he was a student manager. He's not very big, is he?
He is not. He is not at all, but his performance and the pride that he takes and how he plays is outstanding. And again, very proud of Cory and the efforts that he put in this past year.
Looked like the defensive interior coach had a pretty good game. We're going to take a look here at a pass completion, but early in the game they were all over the Bobcat quarterback. They did a pretty good job, I thought, inside.
Yeah, I thought we were defending the run pretty well. They had a couple big plays that they split us on, some explosive passes and a couple explosive runs. Outside of that, I thought we defended the run game pretty well.
Yeah.
That's a good football team, and they just continued to press on, and ultimately were able to drive the football and score some points. But I thought overall there were some good things on the defensive side that we needed.
You know, we're going to see second half highlights here in a moment, Coach, but during that second half, we're going to show a lot of young kids out there playing. Looked out there in the field, I think there's only 2 seniors out there for a lot of snaps in that second half, giving those young kids a lot of experience.
Yeah, that's important. And, you know, we've had a lot of young players that have played for us this year. You know, a lot that have played because, you know, they're very talented, and we've had others that have played because they've, you know, been forced into some roles, you know, due to injuries or just, you know, just depth in our roster. But all in all, they've had great experiences, and they're going to be able to take all that playing time, all the lessons that they've learned from this season, and really apply it, you know, going forward.
I'm assuming you probably redshirted probably, what, 90% of your freshman class? There's probably a few that played more than 4 games, but the majority will be back next year with freshman eligibility.
Yeah, a lot of them will be. You know, there's a good amount that did use their year, and you know, there'll be some of those cases where you might be able to get their redshirt next year, play them in 4 games, and redshirt them next year. Hopefully, you know, that would be, you know, ideal in a couple of instances. But again, you know, you have to do what you have to do, and our players, you know, understand that, and you know, some of them, you know, made some sacrifices. You know, Pete, you know, being one that, you know, really the whole plan all year was to redshirt him. But you know, looking at where we were at running back in the last half of the season, you know, that plan needed to be adjusted. And to Pete's credit, he accepted that role and said, hey, whatever I need to do for the team, I'll do it. And you know, I appreciated that very much.
We're at halftime of Akron's loss to Ohio University. We're going to take a break, come back and watch second half highlights right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
The University of Akron is more than a college or campus.
It's a connection to the community.
To the thousands of opportunities right here in Northeast Ohio.
And to the partnerships with employers and organizations.
Like the LeBron James Family Foundation, where we connect kids to life-changing possibilities.
It's the strength of UA, this city, and these connections.
It's where students make an impact on their community and in the world.
While still making an impact
in the classroom,
on the track,
in the boardroom,
and in my community.
That's what makes us the University of Akron.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Football Weekly with head coach Tom Arth. We're at halftime of last week's game with Ohio University. And Coach, as we said, in the second half, we're going to watch highlights, but man, a lot of young kids. We're going to talk about some of those young kids in the final segment, but I know you're proud of these guys coming in, buying into what you're trying to do, and really helping in this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, our young players, our freshmen, were really thrown into you know, some pretty key roles for us. You know, certainly things in some cases that we didn't anticipate coming in as freshmen, but they handled it very well, and they performed, I think, as well as could be expected, you know, in the circumstance. So I'm excited for that class. I'm excited for that group of players and some of the young players that we have in our program and the experiences that they've gained this season and how that's going to help them out next year.
I think I asked you this question at the press conference, Coach. I'll ask again, what differentiates between maybe a Division III player, Division I player? I know the speed of the game, but there's some other things that you take a look at?
You know, I mean, there's certainly a lot, you know, and I think a lot of it, you know, does come down to some measurables and height, weight, speed type of things, and you know, then just ability, you know, just flat out athleticism and ability. But you know, there's some cases where you know there really isn't that big of a difference, and I've certainly coached some guys at John Carroll that I would have loved to have had, you know, on this team, you know, this past year. And, you know, there's guys that are playing in Division I programs that, you know, maybe aren't quite, you know, at the, you know, at the level they should be. So, you know, I think it's, you know, at the end of the day, there's really good football players. And I think you can see that in the NFL and, you know, the amount of players from smaller schools. And not a lot from Division III programs, but there's a good representation and, you know, but a lot from Division II and 1AA and even, you know, lower levels of, you know, of FBS football. So there's great players everywhere, and you know, it's those guys that, you know, really love the game, you know, and are dedicated to being the best that they can be that get those types of opportunities. Okay, right now let's go back to InfoCision Stadium this past Tuesday night as the Zips take on the Ohio University Bobcats. Highlights brought to you again by ESPN+.
plus. The Bobcats, I think, are going to get the opening second half kickoff, Coach, and they're going to come up and get a pretty good hit right there. And I'm not sure who made that hit, but I tell you, I thought your special teams played pretty well on Tuesday night.
Yeah, special teams has been, a strength of ours. Very proud of the way that we've played in that regard. And you can see, obviously we've talked about our kickoff returns, and our kickoff team is one of the best in the country. And that first clip of that opening kickoff, Justin Sampson's running down there, has a chance to make a tackle about the 12-yard line and just missed, but. He took his shot, and that's his job on that play. And I thought we played, against a very physical OU special teams unit. I thought our team, matched up and matched that physicality really well.
Here's a big hit by the freshman Tutu on the quarterback, and the guy I was watching a lot in special teams was Gavin Blunt.
Gavin,
out of Aurora, that really played well.
Yeah, Gavin has been a core special teams player for us. He's done a fantastic job on that unit, and really we've had a number of guys that have really played the majority of their snaps this year in the kicking game, and it's been really important, I think, for our success in that aspect of the game, is to have that amount of core guys that are so invested in being the best that they can be for our special teams.
Micaiah Burton got some carries, I think, in the second half. Peter Hayes, Patrick, you mentioned, also got some carries. Two young kids that'll be instrumental next year in the running game. Yeah,
Micaiah, again came in, did a couple good things for us in the screen game, and had a couple nice runs in the third quarter. Pete played solid throughout the course of the game, and really every opportunity that he's had this year. And I could even go back to training camp. Pete. Always kind of maximized his carry. Got us, 4 or 5 yards, got his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, and finished falling forward. And there's a lot to be said for that.
He's about 205, 210 pounds. Maybe doesn't look that big. We haven't seen him yet out in space. You have, and I'd like to see him out next year in some space and see some of the moves he can make.
Yeah, I don't know how much we have either.
Yeah, okay.
Pete's a big back, and
right.
I think he's just gonna, continue to get bigger and stronger. And there's a lot of value in that, in the style of offense that we hope to play, and I think Pete'll be a big part of that for the future.
We didn't mention Cato Nelson. Just to see the handshake there with Coach Solich, a guy I know you respect a lot.
Absolutely. Coach Solich has done a fantastic job with the program at Ohio University and everywhere that he's been. And I have a lot of admiration for him and how he's built the program and the type of players that he's recruited, and really, the foundation that he's built that program on. It's, in a lot of ways what we're hoping to do at the University of Akron. And it was great to talk with him before the game and after the game. And, he had some advice and some words of wisdom, some things that, certainly, make me feel, really good, about where we're at and what we're doing. And, very appreciative of him for that.
Sure. We mentioned Cato Nelson, who took some shots. He has played hurt for you a lot. I know back, I think, 5 or 6 games ago, you commented how tough he was and you appreciated him coming out and playing hurt for you.
Yeah, no, Cato's tough. I think if we've learned anything about Cato is just that he's a tough kid, and he's going to play hard and give you everything that he has, each snap. And, battling an injury that he received, and I believe it was the Troy game.
Right.
He had to leave that game early, and kind of been fighting it all season long, and it kind of got re-aggravated against Miami. Took a hit in the end zone. Was able to finish that game and fought through practice this week, and hung in there as long as he could. This past Saturday, and we had planned to play Zach early just to get him some snaps, knowing that Cato may not be able to make it the whole way through. And I think in the end, it was nice for Zach to be able to get, his 4th game in, and have a lot of really good experiences to draw off of going forward.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have our play of the game, our player of the game. A little bit later, we're going to talk about recruiting, take a look at next year's non-conference schedule, some of the young players that are really going to be good next year for the Zips. So don't go away. A lot more to come right here on Zips Football Weekly.
Roman was born with a hole in his heart. But thanks to the experts at Summa, who found the problem and fixed it quickly, he's feeling 26 again. Not 76. Minimally invasive heart procedures, many performed in under 2 hours. Summa Health. vital for getting back in the game and more.
Miller Lite is brewed for great taste with only 96 calories and 0 grams of sugar. So when one's done, it's the perfect time to start another. Miller Lite, hold true.
Right now it's time to announce our play of the game and our player of the game, brought to you all season long by the Wentz Financial Group. And it's going to be the Devontae Jess show right now. He's going to be involved in our play of the game and our player of the game. And let's take a look, Coach, at a guy that causes a fumble, then recovers the fumble. That doesn't happen too often, does it?
No, it doesn't. You see, just got off the ball with great quickness, and was able to knock the offensive lineman back. Got a great pass rush, and then you just see the awareness to reach out and knock the football out of the quarterback's hands, and then just the hustle and the energy to fight and get on it was just really good to see, and great to see a senior coming up with a play like that in his last opportunity at Infocision Stadium.
He, of course, is one of 18 seniors that played his final game against Ohio University, and he is our player of the game. I didn't realize it, Coach. He is the cousin of Ulysses Gilbert, great linebacker for the Zips, now with the Steelers.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Found that out for the first time last night, but it was great that Ulysses was able to be here and that it matched up with his schedule to be here for Devontae. I know that meant a lot to him, and I know he played with great energy, because of that.
He's got good size. What is he, about 5'11", a little over 300 pounds? Causes a lot of trouble for those that
he does. He's quick. He's obviously an explosive player. Strong. Has done a great job for us all season long, and definitely gonna miss him.
He's another guy that has been banged up a little bit, but continued to give you 100%.
Yeah, he has. He's been fighting through some injuries and missed a little bit of time, but really did a good job coming back, and kept fighting throughout the season, and had a great night last night.
Showing you how hard he works in the weight room there, showing those guns off, right?
That's right. That's right.
Congratulations to that young man. He has been fun to watch for the 4 years he's been in a Zip uniform. Senior Devontae Jess. So, Coach, he's going to be one that's going to be missed, but I know you're busy trying to get some other defensive linemen into the program.
We are. It's an area in recruiting that's very important for us. Have a number of scholarships available on the defensive line, and have a good group committed right now. Great. With a couple spots still to fill, and we're excited for that.
There you go. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk about recruiting. We're going to talk about next year's non-conference schedule and some of the young players in the program that have great futures here at the University of Akron. So don't go away. We're back right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
The University of Akron is more than a college or campus.
It's a connection to the community.
To the thousands of opportunities right here in Northeast Ohio.
And to the partnerships with employers and organizations.
Like the LeBron James Family Foundation, where we connect kids to life-changing possibilities.
It's the strength of UA, this city, and these connections.
It's where students make an impact on their community and in the world.
While still making an impact
in the classroom,
on the track,
in the boardroom,
and in my community.
That's what makes us the University of Akron.
Okay, welcome back to the final edition of Zips Football Weekly. Coach Arth is here, and Coach, the next time we meet will be our season preview for 2020. Looking forward to that. We got a lot to talk about today because you're going to be out in the recruiting trail. You're going to be busy picking up some big miles here in the next couple of weeks.
We will be. All of our coaches are heading out this Sunday. We'll be on the road recruiting all week, and coming back into the office Friday afternoon. In preparation for our official visit that evening. So that's going to be kind of our life here for the next couple of months till we get through February signing day, and then we're able to really get back around a team, and really kind of get back to working on the things that we need to develop this roster. But while we're away recruiting, Coach Pearson and our strength staff will be with our players, developing them in the weight room and out on the field, which is going to be really important for our success going forward.
I know there's a 3-day early signing period, December 18, 19, 20. You can give 25 full scholarships. How many of those 25 you think will be in that early signing period?
You know, hard to say right now. We have a good group. We have a good group of players that are committed to us. I would say the majority of our signees will come in that first period in December, but there'll still be a decent amount that will sign in February as well. And I think as you look at some of the players that have had great senior years, particularly in Ohio, in some ways you're hoping that you have some room, to be able to sign them in February, and I know that there'll be a good crop of them out there.
Exactly. Let's talk about the non-conference schedule next year. The Zips will open up the season right at home on September 5th against Youngstown State, and then, Coach, it's off to Clemson, then New Mexico State. You got UMass coming in October, so very challenging non-conference schedule next year.
Yeah, I think it's great. The Youngstown State game, obviously, close by.
Sure.
And they're a great football team.
Yeah, they are.
That'll be a tough game to open up the season with. We'll have to have a really good offseason, really good fall camp to prepare for that one, and then obviously heading down to Clemson will be a great opportunity for our team and for our program. And I think our players, you always look forward to games like that. As players that playing at a MAC school, just understanding, hey, here's our opportunity to go play against one of the best teams in the country, and
sure,
to showcase who we are, what we're about, and what our abilities are. So we're excited for that schedule. It'll be fun.
Coach, you know better than anybody how young this football team was in 2019, but that's good because you got a lot of players coming back next year. Let's talk about some of the young Zips in the program. On offense, you got all your wide receivers back: Boogie Knight, Nate Stewart, Tim Scipio, Michael Matheson. I think you may get Jonah Morris back maybe from an injury, so that's a good, solid group.
Yeah, you do. It's a good group coming back. Julian Hicks,
right,
as
Julian
well.
Hicks, yep.
So really all of our wide receivers. Hopefully, Jonah's been rehabbing and doing a great job with that. He should be able to participate in a limited capacity this spring, and hopefully able to return for the year. But I think wide receiver is going to be a good position for us, and we're excited to see how we continue to develop at that group.
Running back Peter Hayes-Patrick will be back, but I know you're talking to a couple recruits that'll solidify that running back position.
Yeah, we are. It's an area, we don't have very much depth, at running back, and I think Pete will certainly be back, and we'll expect big things from him. But having the ability to be able to sign a couple players in this class that
sure,
will also be able to come in and help us next year will be important.
Offensive line, everybody's back. You just lose one offensive lineman. A lot of good young linemen. Xavier Gray from Massillon Jackson. So you got a good group there to work with in the spring.
We do. Excited for those guys to come back another year to develop in our program. And you look at some of the guys that didn't play at all this season for us, and Jordan Daniels and Caleb Herring and Owen Murphy.
Right.
Some guys that I think we're really excited about. Ryan Beckman.
Right.
Had a really great year for us. So I think there'll be a lot more competition at that position this spring than we had this past year, which is always a good thing for your program. And guys are really going to have to push to keep their jobs, and there are going to be a lot of people they're going to be fighting to take them, and we're excited to see that
sure,
battle.
Let's talk a little bit about the defense quickly. Here we got Bub Arcelani coming back at linebacker. Got a good group of D linemen: Logan Hawkins, Bryce Wilson, Dylan Meeks, Eric Bentley. There's a good group there too. Yeah,
there is. We were talking about that this morning as a staff. We'll have a number of guys that are coming back that have played played well for us this season. So we feel our depth will be much improved there. Have some good players committed that I think can come in and contribute as in their first years in our program, and some guys that we plan to redshirt as well. So I think we'll be better up front on both sides of the ball, which is really important in order to be successful. Exactly. Hey, we got some people to thank. This is our last show this year. Thanks for watching every week. Bud Wentz, our title sponsor from Wentz Financial Group, our student production crew, Sophia Stokes, Kyle Glockner, and Peyton Burkhammer. For Coach Tom Arth, I'm Joe Dunn. Thanks for watching all season long, and always remember, go Zips.
Zips Football Weekly with Tom Arth. Presented by Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime. Hosted by Joe Dunn. Contributing partners include Summa Health. It's your health. Let's own it together. Miller Lite. It's Miller time. Hilton Akron Fairlawn, proud to be the host hotel of Zips football. And the Spaghetti Warehouse, famous for its 15-layer lasagna.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield IMG College. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of Learfield IMG College.